Hello, my name is Manuel Leon, welcome back to this channel, and today I'm going to tell you how to create a more effective and more efficient content marketing strategy and how to plan for it. Now, first things first, make sure you click the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. I make these videos for you, so it's very important for me that you guys subscribe and support me. Like the video, comment below, share if you think this information was valuable for you or it's going to be valuable for someone else. In the comments you can leave questions, you can leave good comments, you can leave bad comments, I'll take that too. And even if you want me to do a video about a specific topic, make sure you write it down there. I always read them, I always reply, and I'll be more than happy to read what you have to say. Now, let's talk about content. Content creation. It can be a very frustrating topic, especially if you're not as involved in the content creation process on a daily basis. At some point you will have to be, whether you are the manager or the owner of a business or a company, whether it is for your personal brand. The system is taking us in a way that we have to be more involved with content creation, because even if you're not in front of the camera, you have to be able to revise what your marketing department or the agency that you're working that is working with your company is doing. You have to be able to revise, to understand the process, and to go through everything in order to make sure that whatever message they are putting out there, it's the message that goes in line with your values as a company or with your values as a person, and it also goes in line with your business goals, right? And actually that's a very important word, the word goals, because that is precisely the first tip and the first thing that I'm going to talk to you about. In marketing we have something called SMART goals, and I'm sure they don't work only for marketing. I think they use all across the board in many industries, but SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. SMART, you get it? So all your goals have to be SMART goals. They have to be able to check all these check boxes. They have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be attainable, they have to be realistic, and they have to be timely. Now, a couple of weeks ago I got a call from someone who wasn't having great results with her social media campaigns that she was doing herself on her own. And the more I talked to this person on the phone, the more I realized that the main problem that she had is the fact that she didn't go through the process of sitting down and establish her specific goals for her personal branding and her business. What happened is that she was pretty much splashing around in the middle of the sea because she was doing all this effort, spending all this money on social media, but nothing was really getting the traction and the results that she wanted. And the reason for that is that she didn't have a clear purpose. She didn't have a specific goal to follow through. Once I explained her how that works, and once I made her see how important establishing goals is, it was like her brain exploded. She all of a sudden understood everything. It clicked for her. It clicked why she was not getting the results that she wanted. So basically what happened is she went back to the drawing board, she sat down, and she actually wrote with a paper and a pen, put in written, her goals, her SMART goals. And there is a really nice template in order to create SMART goals. I'm going to put the one I use on a link, and I'm going to leave that link in the description below so you guys can download it and use it too. It's a very easy guide and self-explanatory, and it walks you through the process of creating a SMART goal. And the great thing about this template, it helps you, it puts you in the mindset of creating a SMART goal. So for example, a SMART goal will be saying something like, I am going to create a social media campaign, right? That's specific, with videos. That's as specific as I get. I'm going to create a social media campaign with a video. I'm going to measure by looking at how many views this video gets. So now it's specific and is measurable. And also because I have a camera and I have a tripod and I have lights, I think I'm able to create and shoot a really nice video. So now it's specific, measurable, and attainable. That means that you are able to actually do it. Now I'm going to say that I'm going to make this video within the next week, because I have time and I'm gonna put myself in the position of making it in the next week. So now it's realistic and timely. If you say, okay, and this video is going to be ready and edited and out as a campaign by July 20. So now all of a sudden your goal is to create a social media campaign based on video that you're going to shoot in the next week, and you're going to measure by the amount of views that the video gets, and you're going to have it ready by July 20. Perfect, beautiful, you have a SMART goal. And once you have that, it's going to be so much easier for you to start thinking on how to create and how you plan your content around your goals. Now, the tip or step number 2 is actually research and choose your audience, your target market. People underestimate the value and the importance of choosing the right target market. I get this comment a lot. Manny, why is it that I am spending $500 in boosting a post on Facebook and I had 100,000 people looking at that post, but I had 0 conversions or 0 leads? Well, guess what? Facebook is a machine and they are amazing at selling you stuff. So Mr. Zuckerberg has no hesitation in putting a boost button right in front of you when it comes to Facebook, when it comes to Instagram, right? And I know it's tempting, I know you want to just boost post because you get that instant gratification like a drug that says, hey, your post was saw by 100,000 people on a 50-mile radius around you. But guess what? All those people are not necessarily your target. So if you get a few conversions out of that, it's already great, but most likely you're not gonna get any. So one of the things I actually recommend specifically for Facebook and Instagram is never to boost posts, just boost them. It's meant for perhaps some sort of promotion, but not if you want to establish specific goals with a content marketing strategy. I will say that regarding that, always use the Ads Manager on Facebook, because that way you're able to actually choose your target, choose your audience specifically, and Facebook gives you very narrow tools and very narrow categories that you can choose from to better target your audience. And you have to be creative about it, but in order to be creative about it, you have to do some research. So the second step is that you're actually going to research about your audience. You're going to think about the type of customers that you want to get, or the type of client that you want to get hired by, and you're going to craft your audience around that, right? So you need to know where online do they hang out, what platforms do they use, what level of income they have, where do they live, how old are they men, are they women, are they children? Whatever it is, you're going to need to find out demographics, you're going to need to find out psychographics, and some ways of doing that is by using old-fashioned Googling, or some other ways are paying for data. There are companies that are solely dedicated to gather this data and sell it to marketing agencies and sell it to individuals who want to target these specific populations. Now, depending of the level of complexity of your campaign and depending of precisely your goals, I will suggest to actually purchase data, demographics and psychographics, or just try to research some, because in some cases, or in most cases, you don't necessarily need that deep of information. Of course, the deeper that you can get it, the better. The more you get to know your audience, the better. The more you know, the better you can sell to them. But in reality is that for the average medium size or small business owner, this is not as necessary. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, they all give you pretty great tools on targeting people, and you just have to be very creative about it. And in order to be creative, you just have to know who you're talking to and who are they, and research them a little bit. There are plenty of public records that you can use to kind of like find out that information. Our government gives us a lot of statistics from the census. They tell us who lives where, how old are they, what jobs are they doing, Are they educated or not educated? How much money they spend? Where do they spend it? So on and so forth. And for your website, for example, if you have Google Analytics installed or working with your website, that means you can also see what pages they're visiting most, what things are they more interested regarding your services. The same happens with tools like Constant Contact for online marketing. So there are 1,000 tools out there for free available for you to find out who your audience is. So first thing, choose your goals, SMART goals. Second thing, choose your audience and know your audience. Now the third step is to actually create the content, right? Now that you have a goal, now that you know who you're going to talk to, it's so much easier to actually create content for these people. Now, in some cases, you can be an expert on your field where you just sit down and start typing and amazing ideas come out of your head. But most likely what's going to happen is you're going to do some mild research. I'm not saying go ahead and copy someone else's content, but once you have your target, you're able to kind of like determine what voice you want to use when you're creating the content for them. Whether that content is a video, whether that content is a post on social media or a blog, whatever it is, now that you know who you're talking to and what you want to say, it's much easier to find the way to say it. So sit down and actually create the content. Now the trick part on this is to organize that content in a way that is helpful and useful for you, because a lot of these things that I'm explaining now take a little bit of time at the beginning, but I promise you after the first month or the first couple months or the first couple times that you do it, it's going to be so much easier for you to do them. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to be creating content easy, quicker, just so much faster, and your marketing and your campaigns are going to pick up like this. So the third step is to create the content and plan for it. Now, there are very easy tools and there are more complex tools in order to plan for content. Obviously, in such cases like mine, where I handle many different clients at the same time, I am not able to actually go on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever platform and actually manually post each time for each client, because that will take me all day. I basically would be on my phone the entire day, the entire week, all day, every day. Now, what I do is that I do use some scheduling tools, some software that helps me to kind of like schedule that content to go out, but that doesn't mean that I don't plan for it and that I don't create it and manually set up my grid. Now, I'm going to also leave in the description of this video a link to the grid I use, and it's a very simple spreadsheet. I use Excel. I've seen all kinds. I've seen them more complex grids, I've seen much easier grids, but at the end of the day, the one I use works for me, but that doesn't mean you're not able to adjust it. In mine, you have a column where you kind of list what platform you're going to post the content on. Then you have another column referencing the image, the actual visual that you want to post with the content. Then you have another column that states what category of content it is. In my case, I usually categorize content like if I'm going to post motivational stuff, if I'm going to post news, if I'm going to post educational content. So I do always have a column for stating that category. Then you have another column that tells you what exactly is going to be written on the image or on the content itself. And then I have, if it's for example a post for social media, I have another column for the caption that is going to go with it, and then I have another column for the hashtags. Now, some people actually put dates and times on their grid. I don't, because I use tools that help me with that. Like, I particularly use Buffer. I know there is Hootsuite. My favorite is Buffer because I know it and I find it much easier to use. But some people use Hootsuite, some people use other softwares. I know there are some free, some of them are pay. But bottom line is I don't put dates and times on my actual grid. But the point of all this is the fact that once you have that grid already constructed and filled out, it's so much easier to transfer that to whatever tool you're using. Now, you don't have to use a tool like Hootsuite or Buffer. For example, if you're only working with Facebook and Instagram, because most platforms allow you to pre-schedule things. Even YouTube, you can upload something and pre-schedule it to come out and publish after the fact of after you uploaded it. So most tools or most platforms allow you to pre-schedule content on their own platform. Facebook and Instagram have something called Creator Studio. So if you go to Creator Studio, you're able to actually plan for not only posts but carousels and videos and stories and Instagram TV. So in my case, something like Buffer will allow me to post on Facebook and on Instagram, but Instagram does not allow third-party apps to publish videos or carousels for you. So when I want to post something on that direction, if I want to post a carousel for a client, if I want to post a video or an IGTV, what's going to happen is I have to go to Creator Studio and schedule that in there. Whatever tool you're able to use works, whatever feels more comfortable, but bottom line is the fact that once you have this grid fill out, it's going to be so much easier and so much faster to transfer this content into the platform that you want to post it on. Now, the next step is to actually execute it, which is what I just said. You're going to have to transfer all the information that you have on your grid, put it on your platform, schedule it, or even if you want to manually post it every day, that's fine. But the point is, by having this spreadsheet, you're going to be able to just copy and paste the caption, upload the image, copy and paste the hashtag, boom, there you go, post it. Whew, that's a lot. We're almost done, guys. Now, the next step is tracking. Remember when we were talking about SMART goals and how important was the fact that they needed to be measured? This is where this part comes along, the tracking of the results. By tracking, you're able to see what works, what doesn't work, what needs improvement or adjustment, what needs to be eliminated, so on and so forth. Every single platform most likely is going to give you some sort of insights. If you go to Facebook, they'll give you insights about your posts. If you go to Instagram, I think they give you up to a week. If you have Google Analytics, you can see a ton of information about the content that you're posting and the pages on your website. And the same happens even with TikTok. So every single platform allows you to track the performance of everything that you put out there, especially if you have business accounts. Now, there are tools, paid tools, that will gather all that information and put it in one dashboard for you. I don't particularly use them. I'm not a fan. I'm a little bit more traditional in that sense, where I want to see the performance of something in the place where I publish it. So if I want to see the performance of this video, I will go to YouTube and actually look at the insights of that YouTube is giving me. If I want to see the performance of something on Facebook, I actually go to the ads manager if it's an ad and I check for the performance in there. Or if I go to insights in one of the pages that I handle, I will be able to see how good or how bad something performed there. But if you are one of those people who like to have everything in one place, by all means, go and check them out. I'm going to leave some resources on the description of the video as well, so you guys can go and explore some tools. Most of them are paid, but they're not crazy expensive necessarily. That doesn't mean that you cannot use them. And a lot of them offer either free trials or they offer free accounts if it's up to like one social media channel or a couple social media channels or something like that. So they are definitely worth exploring. And the final step, and this is a bonus, is pretty much adjust. Now you have established your goal, you have established your audience and you get to know your audience, you created your content, you executed it by scheduling and sending it out and publishing it, you tracked it, and now what? Now you're going to go and fix whatever did not work. You're going to adjust your content, you're going to adjust your campaign. If it's working, don't try to fix it. I am the type of people who think that if anything broke it, don't fix it. Yes, things change very rapidly on social media and Google and algorithms and things of that sort, but the reality is that certain things are very basic, and if they work, they work because they have to do with your audience. Everything can change. Every single algorithm online can change forever, every day if they want to. But the reality is that if you did your homework correctly and you got to research and know your audience properly in step number 2, your campaigns are going to work. No matter how the algorithm moves around, your campaigns are going to work. So if they're working, don't try to move them around. Perhaps do some adjustments, improve them, and yes, you might want to change them after a little while. You might want to change your strategy. You might have to change your strategy. But in the meantime, try to get as much use out of your content as you're able in the first couple months or in the first couple weeks, depending on your niche. Now, if you see that there's something that is not working, absolutely fix it. You have to look at these statistics, you have to look at these tracks and these insights that these platforms give you with an open mind and a turn on brain. It's not about reading just a bunch of numbers, and I know this is a difficult part because it is for me when I read the reports from Google Analytics, when I read the reports from Facebook, when I read the reports from Instagram. It kills me. It literally kills me because I hate numbers. I totally hate numbers. But it is required for creating content. It is required to make your marketing successful. So as much as I sometimes hate it, I learned to love the idea of sitting down and kind of like go in and out and being very neat and picky about things that I can change in order to push my campaigns further, to push my content further, and to improve them. So now let's recap. I always like to do a recap in these videos. First thing, it is to create your SMART goals. I'm going to leave SMART goals templates in the description of this video for you guys to use. Second step, choose your audience. Research, demographics, psychographics. I'm also going to leave some resources for that as well that you can use in order to try to get to know your audience a little bit better. Third thing, create your content and prepare your grid. I'm going to leave the grid I use. Again, it might work for you, it might not work for you. It's a very simple spreadsheet. You can find it useful, but even if you want to change it or adjust it, it's a good start. Number 4, track the results, check the insights, see what works, see what doesn't work. Number 5, adjust your content, adjust your campaigns. Make sure that everything that needs to be working still works. Make sure that everything that can be improved, it's improved. Those are my 5 tips to create an effective and efficient content strategy. And remember that once you do it the first time, it might take a little time, but like everything in life, once you master it, you're gonna be a pro. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have comments, leave them in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.